Oh, wow. 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 That's crazy. That flow is amazing. Wow. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Is It Worth It? That's right, the very first one in 2026. You guys asked for it to come back, so I'm bringing it back. The return of Is It Worth It? To help you guys hopefully find some good stuff. Because what is It Worth It? It is where I go around the world and the internet looking for art supplies that will make your life just a little bit easier, or for you to enjoy the craft just this much more. Now, I just had to, as the beginning, new 2026, Is It Worth It? Had to go to the Dollar Tree. So as we are on our quest to find great materials, we're also on the quest to find great materials at a very cheap price. And so as paint markers have become kind of the thing that everyone is doing, I figured and saw that there were acrylic paint markers at the Dollar Tree. And yes, they were $1.25. I picked up 2 of their packs, right? They have the pastel ones and the base color. I think there might be another one, but I don't necessarily know. But I figured 5 paint markers for $1.25. We had to try those out, and who knows, these might actually be worth it. But you and I know that there is only one way to figure out whether or not these are actually worth it. So come on, let's go check them out. All right, so as you can see, it's the Dollar Tree. It is on some chipboard with a little plastic cover. Nothing really fantastic. It tells you that it's a bullet tip. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, these are premium, superior art supply. I love it when packaging and stuff says that. So these are PrimeArt markers, Supreme Art Supplies, premium acrylic markers. It says that it's multi-surface. It's a water-based ink. Non-toxic, odorless, waterproof after drying, ready to use, ink flows instantly. And this is their base set, and it has red, yellow, green, orange, and blue, and you can use it on paper, ceramics, wood, metal, glass, fabric, stone, and more. And then here is their pastel color, same thing, multi-surface, premium, and all the things are the same. So let's go ahead and crack these open. Oop, that was very easy. Oof. All right, so the plastic itself feels really plasticky, right? So you can tell that they're saving their money on the plastic, on the feel of the plastic. It's got this weird notch. It's got like a little bead bubble right here that tells you what the color is, which is kind of cool that it's like on, you know, like you can see it. It's not just here, so even if it was just in your hand, you know, or you put it down or something like that, you could tell right away that it is green, which is cool. They're very secure on there. Like, listen to that snap. Ooh. Right, so those are definitely 100% in there, which is great. Let's see if it posts. Great, right? So that's really good. We like that. And then let's see, what else do we have? The bullet itself looks, you know, like a normal bullet. Can't really complain on that one. It looks very sturdy, although it's already leaking from where I was taking the cap off. So I don't know if you guys can see that, right? Like it's already leaking. So it's a Dollar Tree thing, so I'm pretty sure they'll probably all do that after a while. But it looks sturdy. It's a big bullet nib, so it looks really good. So I'm excited to see how those look and work. Right, and we'll check out the pastel ones as well. All right, and so the pastel ones look a little drier than the other ones. So we'll just have to see how they work though. And let's see, it's an acrylic marker, choking hazard, small parts, and, you know, store them horizontally so they work. All right. All right, so we have two sets I think is important. We're going to have our black paper to see how that works with the markers, and then of course, as normal, we have our Bristol Board 300 series smooth. All right, so we're gonna pull the pastel ones out first. I want to see the primary ones and see how they work. All right, it said that I didn't need to shake them or anything, so oh wow, that's crazy. That flow is amazing. Wow. No, wow. Okay. So the bullet itself is very sturdy, but it seems that it can be a little bit flexible. Not too much though. You can get a couple different sizes out from the actual bullet, which is nice. But yeah, even the one that was leaking is still really good, right? Look at the flow on that. That's crazy. Coming from like a Dollar Tree thing, you know, I have to say, let's see how it works like this. So it is a water-based, you can tell on how it actually layers, but I'm interested to see how it's gonna work, like once it's dry, to see how the layering actually looks. But as of right now, I mean, the colors really match, right? That, I mean, well, it is a little darker, right? The cap seems to be darker than the actual paint that comes out. So it is watery, right? The yellow one was actually pretty good, but the other ones, they are a bit watery. And so you can tell that it's streaky, but like I said, I'm waiting to see, like, once it dries, if we go over it again, what will happen then, right? And I can't even, let's see, it doesn't take too long to dry. Right, but it is water-based, and you can really see it, so it's not going to be 100% opaque, especially if you're moving too fast. And like I said, you can tell that it's water-based because when you go over something, you can actually see the other line underneath it. So it's not necessarily going to be too opaque as acrylic markers, which is, you know, kind of sad always. Like finding a quality marker that is also opaque is going to be key. But like I said, water-based, and so you can definitely tell the streaks because it's not laying down a lot of ink right away. But let's go back to this green one real quick and go over it. So it seems as though if you go over it, so if you let it go down and then you go over it again, it fills in all of the cracks quite nicely. So it seems like just two layers make that kind of, maybe three, depends on how you put it down, but a good 2 layers, I mean, and that's already dry. So it dries really fast too, but right. So I think 2, possibly three times over it, and you can get a nice coverage going. Let's just check out these pastel ones because, like I said, they seemed pretty dry when I went over it. And no, they're pretty. I mean, the ink's coming out, right? So that's good. And yeah. Once you start working with these, at least the pastel one so far, once you start working with it, the ink actually starts flowing a little bit more. So So that's nice. I can't. Okay, so for $1.25, these are pretty good. The bullet on here is very sturdy, right? And the ink flow is actually really nice. The problem for me, because it is a water-based, and the faster you work, the less ink that comes out. So it's not necessarily opaque, and this one, at this moment, is dead on arrival, right? And so this is kind of what I was expecting from Dollar Tree stuff so far, but it's only one. But yeah, this one's dead. This one's not putting out any ink. And since it didn't say you should shake it, it just seems as though it's going to be dead, right? So, but when they do work, like I said, these are really nice. They're okay. Once they dry, right? It dries nice, or dries really nice, but they are translucent, right? So you will see right through them, and it's mostly because it is a water-based acrylic marker. And the mixture between the two isn't necessarily letting off a lot of ink. So you can really see the streaks on there. So, but as we discovered up here, if you go over it once or twice, then you can get some nice coverage. But the ink flow is really nice. I'm curious because on the white paper, it was decent, right? But we've tested out a couple different things that were supposed to be for all surfaces and stuff like that. So I'm really curious to see how it's going to work on the black paper. Because normally these the water-based markers, and this is the one thing that I've noticed, the water-based markers have the hardest time on black paper, right? And now some colors like this yellow is really nice and it's working, right? And you can see it, like, I have to say though, the bullet is giving this nice feathering when you do it. But as you can see, right, especially now, the water-based, right, you can just see how that's not necessarily filling in completely, and it is because it is a water-based marker. So they are not horrible, especially since it's just $1. So I'm actually pretty happy with these. They're not bad. They're not the best, but they're not bad. But they definitely, I would say, work a lot better on white paper. But you will have to go over them a couple times, right? Because it does let ink go at a different rate, and it is translucent. But for doing something quick, trying to put down some nice little colors, if you're trying to just, right, do some little accents or something like that, these work really nice. The only problem is, especially, you can see it maybe, right? It looks good on paper. It looks kind of good on the film, but I'm telling you, these are really faded. They really are kind of faded in the fact that they're water-based, right? Ooh, wow, the pink one didn't even want to show up. Wow. This one did work, but it's not working on the black at all. All right, let's try that one again on the white real quick. Yeah, see, it works just fine on the white, but on the black, this one doesn't even stay on top. So you know that there's a lot of water in here because it doesn't even show up on the black. So there you go. All right, so we just got done reviewing the Dollar Tree PrimeArt acrylic water-based markers, and for the price, they are fantastic, right? You really can't beat 5 markers for $1.25. You just can't. They were not the best. They work really well on white paper, not on black paper. So it doesn't necessarily work on all paper, but on white, at least, where the water and the acrylic paint kind of blended, it gave it enough body to where if you were just making lines, it worked out just fine. But the more that you used it, the more that the water showed, and it became way more translucent than being like a paint. So while yes, it was a paint marker, and if you went over it twice or 3 times, it became opaque, and you could do that. But if you are doing like whimsical lines or actual handwriting and stuff like that, that will be really hard to replicate. But in the end, it was $1.25, right? So they do work. Probably not the best, but for like a starter pack, like if you were like, hey, I want to try these before I go out and buy the $10 Posca markers, a piece. I know they're not that expensive, but the way more expensive paint markers, you can try these out, and if you don't like them, you spent $1, right? $1.25. And so I do recommend that you go check these out if you want to, right? Because they're good enough, they're fun to play with, and especially if you had like kids and you want to be able to give them paint, like a paint marker, then I would recommend these all day, right? But I think that if you try and use it in more of a professional aspect, it's going to take you more time because you're going to go over it again and again and again. And so it kind of defeats the purpose of the paint marker, right? So that's something you got to keep in mind. But all in all, for $1.25, definitely go pick it up, try it out. Tell me what you think. Drop me in the comments below. So that wraps up today's episode, the first episode of 2026. I hope that you learned something or that this information was helpful in some way, shape, or form. Now, if you have any type of materials that you would like me to review, please drop it in the comments below and I will add it to the list. If you are new to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell so that you get notified every single time that I drop new content. Thank you all so very much, and I will see you at the next episode.